Hey, once again, I'm in the building. It's Johnny Ray for Ray on Sports. Coming to you live from my home. I hope you loved this episode. Today we're going to talk Team USA and the Olympics. We're also going to, can we jump into a little Summer League if we want to? Yeah, we could. For Summer League, we got, Summer League is the one when all the players that were drafted or want to be drafted or could be drafted, they show their skills at the camp. So we can jump into some of that. But let's talk about first of all about Team USA. Now, Team USA is the men's basketball team. The roster has been announced. They played a couple of games, and one of the things people start saying about them is that the team didn't have any chemistry. And for me, I would say, of course, they don't have chemistry. You got a bunch of stars on the team. You have LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis. All those players on that team. And of course, they're not going to have chemistry because they just got together. Come on, people. Let's think about this for a minute. You got a bunch of stars who are used to starring and playing, and you asking for team chemistry. And the reason why I said team chemistry because I had someone, heard someone bring that up. It was another show that brought up the question. We watched the game, but it didn't seem like they had any chemistry. And I was like, yeah, they probably won't have any chemistry because they just got together. You got, like I said, you got LeBron James, you got Steph Curry, you got Kevin Durant. Rounding off the squad, you got Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, who was replaced by his was replaced by the Olympic Committee, and he was replaced by Derek White from the Celtics. I can talk about that a little bit too. Also, you had Drew Holiday, Tyrese Halliburton, and Joel Embiid. Now, with that team, that's a team of all-stars. That's starters for any team in the league. They can do what they can score, but it's all about making team chemistry. And for that to happen, they need to play more together. They just started. I think they was announced in April. Play just started a couple of weeks ago. They just started, so they didn't have that. I think they had like a week of training camp, so they were just trying to get the ins and outs of it. A lot of them, I think, in off season probably played together. So they might have that kind of chemistry that's needed, to play in the Olympics. But I was very kind of taken aback when I heard that. It's like, oh, there's no chemistry there. Oh, they didn't run no kind of offense. They just, the ball didn't really move. The ball moved, but, and then they said they played Australia, which gave them a little scare. But, they didn't beat them. But they were saying, oh, yeah, they didn't have any chemistry. And the guy who they interviewed, love him. His name is Antonio Daniels. He does another radio show on the NBA I'm not the NBA network. I'm sorry, Sirius XM. The NBA on Sirius XM. He does a show on there, and he's also the play-by-play announcer for the New Orleans Pelicans. And he said, "Of course, there's no chemistry. You got a bunch of stars there. They're just learning each other." He said, "But I don't see any scare. I don't see them losing some games." Which I believe in. I don't think they will because you got a bunch of stars. The idea of the USA using pro players goes back to when they first started it. If you want to know the history of the Olympics and USA basketball, before they started, they put together the Dream Team, which was the first USA men's basketball team that went to the Olympics. They before that that was back in 1992. Before that, the USA was getting killed in the Olympics. For the basketball season, they were getting killed. Did I say killed? Yeah, they were getting killed. So what they did was they put together a team. They decided we needed a team to compete with the overseas, like the Croatias, the Chinas, Australias, the Canada teams that were in the Olympics. Because in all mindsets, the entire Olympics is about sending your best to win. In any sport, not just basketball, in any sport, in gymnastics, in skiing, in hockey, in rowing, and swimming, in baseball, in all events, they sent their best. Every team around the world sent their best, and a lot of basketball teams that went from different countries already had their best players playing already because they played in the league over there. So they sent their best, and the USA did not send their best. The USA used to send college players to play. They would get out the college ranks and they would pull players from the college. And I think they got tired of the losing. So what they did was they asked a bunch of players to get together and play. And that original dream team was Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. I believe they had a couple other players on there, but that's what the main thing was. Oh, and they had this guy named Christian Laettner on there. Christian Laettner was from Duke University. He was they had a couple other players on there too. Yeah, Christian Laettner. They had John Stockton on there. They had Chris Mullin on there. Yeah, and like I said, Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner was the one only college player that was on there, and they picked him over Shaquille O'Neal. Can you imagine that? Christian Laettner over Shaquille O'Neal. Now, before you start jumping on me and saying, I don't understand why would they pick Christian Laettner over Shaq. At the time, this was college Shaq. This wasn't the Shaq we know now, the dominating Shaq that was ripping down backboards and tearing up things and dominating the middle. It wasn't that Shaq. This was the Shaq's fresh out of college LSU Shaq. And so the Olympics decided they needed to pick a winner from the college ranks rather than just a player, the best player. And they went with Christian Laettner because, like I said, he played for Duke, high profile team. And they decided that he was the one they needed, because they needed to put a college player on there. They did that before. It's not the first time they've done it. They've done it before. They've had every time the Olympics come around, they pick up one college player to go on there. I think they have one this year as well. But that's the history of it. So, like I said, they had to do that. They wanted to compete with the world. So they put the dream team together. It was called the dream team. They put them together because it was, when they say dream team, that's what they mean. Dream team. That means this is a team that if you wanted to play, this is the team that you would get to do that. And they called it the dream team because these were Hall of Fame. At the time, they weren't Hall of Fame. They weren't, voted to the Hall of Fame, but they were considered the best in the league. And they called them all together and they got them all together and they went out there and they dominated. They killed them. So over the years, every time the Olympics came around, I think it's every 4 years or every 8 years. Somebody can correct me on that. But they asked these players to get together to play for the country, for USA. And the teams go out there and they dominate. I think one year they had a team of, if I'm not mistaken, they had an Olympic team that actually lost, didn't win a gold medal. They won like a bronze or a silver or something like that. And then after that year, they were like, no, we got to win. It was a pride thing with the U.S. Yeah, we got to win every year. And so they made sure that every year we went to the Olympics, we had the player, the team, the person we need, that group of people we needed to win. So like I said, this year, it's a pretty good squad. Pretty good squad. You got LeBron, you got Kawhi. Well, one thing, Kawhi got switched out. And let me tell you the story behind that. Kawhi was supposed to play. He was coming off an injury. So the story was that they replaced him because of the franchise that he plays for was pressuring him to replace him because he's coming off an injury, which was the LA Clippers. So they replaced him with Derek White. Now, a lot of people say they should have replaced him with Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics because he was a better player. But the way Grant Hill, who is the president of the USA Basketball right now, former NBA player, played some years in the league, came out of Duke as well. He said Derek White fitted what we needed at that time. And a lot of people, make the argument that says, yeah, but Jaylen Brown would have gave you a better chance. Now, there are stories out there that says Jaylen Brown is not a good teammate and that it wouldn't have worked. The chemistry wouldn't have worked. I don't know if Grant Hill heard that stuff. I don't know. But if you have a person like that you cannot get along with, yeah, they can mess up chemistry. No matter how good your team is, no matter how good your organization is, you have that one person that sticks in there and doesn't do his part, then yeah, you're gonna have some issues. You're gonna have some problems. You're gonna have some situations. So I think that's what they basically thought about doing. So they said, "Nah, we good. We'll just go with Derek White." So Derek White is on the team. Um, I think from this team, I think Kevin Durant hasn't played as well either. He's hurt. He hasn't practiced. He hasn't played any games yet, and they said he's rehabbing from an injury. Now, what this means, what's the significance of injuries during the USA basketball? Is because you're playing in USA basketball, you're playing for the summer games. Right after you come back from that, you're going to go straight into training camp. Now, for some players, that doesn't bode well because you just played. I don't know how many games they played during the USA basketball tournament. I guess it depends on how far you go if you win or lose. But once you finish with the tournament, then you got to fly right back, and then you go to your training camp, get ready for training camp for the season. So you don't get a break. It's like you're playing all the way through. And for players like Jason Tatum, who just came off an NBA championship, big props to my boy Jason Tatum for finally winning one. Even though he did win it in Boston, but I still like him. He's still my boy, Jason. I got you. I hear you. Congratulations. But for a player like him, that's rough because he just played in the playoffs. He just played in the finals. He just won. As soon as he, the dust settling from his championship run, and he got his bag as well. He got his money. He got paid. As soon as that happened, then he's going to play the Olympics. So I think he came in like the second or third day of the Olympic practices. He had just got there, but he played. He got on the court and played. So technically he should be the freshest one because he just played, but also it could be detrimental because what happens when you play too much? You have enough gas left in your tank for another 82-game season, and that's what he's going to be, thinking about because, one, you just won a championship, so now the target's on your back. So every team that comes into your gym is going to be looking for you and going to be gunning for you. Now, with that being said, the men's basketball team, every country in the world is gunning for them. You know why? Because they got the best out there. And every country in the world is going to be like, let's get them. Let's get them. That's our test. That's our test. So every time they play, people coming for them. They're not going to play them like they just whoever. They coming. They coming for them. So with the team, you got 12 athletes with basketball experiences, including 3 Olympic champions already. Kevin Durant has won 3. And NBA scoring leader, which is LeBron James. And he also has a pair of gold medals himself because he's played on 2 other teams that won gold. It also features, like I said, Bam Adebayo, who's from Miami, Devin Booker from the Phoenix, Steph Curry from Golden State Warriors, Anthony Davis from LA Lakers, Anthony Edwards from Minnesota Timberwolves, Joel Embiid from the 76ers, Tyrese Halliburton, who plays for the Indiana Pacers, Drew Holiday, Boston Celtics, and Kawhi Leonard, who I said got replaced, and Jason Tatum. So this squad boasts combined 11 Olympic appearances and owned 10 gold medals. So out of the 11 Olympics they went to, they won 10 of them. And I think that's the team I was telling you about that didn't win the gold. They also won 3 FIBA World Cup titles. So, and in total, they take in 12 NBA All-Stars, 4 NBA MVPs, and 6 NBA champions pairs. Grant Hill, who's the president of the men's basketball, USA basketball, said, "It's an honor to introduce this team. I am grateful that these 12 men for their commitment to represent USA basketball. The United States is home to some of the best basketball players in the world, and I appreciate the vast interest in being the part of the roster. These decisions weren't easy, but it was a pleasure to go through the process and reach the outcome. We have the utmost respect for the level of competition we will be facing this summer. The Olympics represent the pinnacle of sports, and the world will be watching the USA as we play the toughest basketball tournament in history." He is not lying. The reason why I say that, because You say, well, it's other countries. We playing whoever. No, we're not. Some of these countries have NBA players on them. It's a lot of teams that played, and I was like, oh, they're from that country. One of them is Luka Doncic. He plays for Croatia because he's from Croatia. Another one was Shea Gildress Alexander, who plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's their leading star in that team, and he's playing Olympics, but he's playing for his home country, which is Canada. The team they played, Australia, has a couple of NBA players on it. So it's not like it's not like it's going to be easy. They got their work cut out for them. They played a couple of games already. They played on July 20th. They played July 20th. I'm sorry, that's coming up. They got games coming up. They got national teams. They're playing. They already played Australia, which is on the 15th. On the 17th, which is today, the time of I'm doing this podcast, they're going to be playing Serbia, and I got to see who's on the Serbian team, and that's in Abu Dhabi. And then after that, they will go to London for the Olympics. And on July 20th, they'll be playing South Sudan, a team of South Sudan, and they play Germany on the 22nd. Yeah, I think so. Yes. And then after that, they go on to the games. Let me see. Yeah, they're playing in London. They played the Las Vegas one. They played Canada in Vegas. They're playing Serbia and Abu Dhabi. On the 20th, they'll be playing South Sudan in London. And then on the 22nd, they'll be playing Germany. If you want to catch some of the games, two of them be on Fox and one of them will be on FS1. If you're interested in watching them and taking a look see how they play. But me, I'll give you the insight on it after I see them play. I watched them play Australia, and they had a work cut out for them. But like I said, these teams, like these other teams, they have some players on them. The Australia team, I think they have some good players on there. I forgot who they were, but let's take a look and see who they are. Australia men's basketball team. I think they had some Australia men's national basketball team. The roster. Who's the roster for them? Let me see who's on that team. Let's see who's on there. And it said that they beat them anyway, but let me see who those on that men's national team. I wonder who is on there. I wonder. I don't know. Does it really say? Doesn't say who's on the team. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, that was in 2014. So does it have the roster for this year? I don't know, guys. But I'm gonna try to get it for you, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here so you guys can understand, who they are, and tell you, I kind of understand who the players are, and it's not just, it's not just some nobodies on that team. I think it's some good players on that team. Australia, now, wasn't a good player on there. I'm sorry, my bad. But I don't think they even say who it is on this team. I thought I had it, but I didn't have it. Nope, that's not it. So anyway, like I said, it was a good game. It was a good game. Let's see if I can find out who was on the team. I'm trying my best, but they did pretty good. They gave them a scare. I think the final score was 98-92. But, it was a scare, nevertheless, because, oh, yeah, they had one guy, some people, if you're a basketball fan, you understand. His name is Patty Mills. Yeah, Patty Mills. He played for Australia. And he's not no scrub. He plays for, I think still playing for the San Antonio Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's no scrub. So he was on that team. And yeah, it was a pretty close game. It wasn't like it was just, they could run all over them. They played hard. Yeah, it was 98-92. And Australia almost came back on them. But in that showcase, I think LeBron, Steph, and all those guys sat for the third and fourth half. I mean, for the second half, they played the first half, they didn't play the second half, and that was smart coaching on the USA side, because they were like, this is a tune-up game to see what we got. Really don't want to put everybody out there. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they can do. So it wasn't bad. I give them credit. They did pretty good. The coach for that team is actually Steve Kerr from Golden State Warriors. He also has Mark Few as one of his assistants, along with Tyronn Lue and Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra, Miami Heat head coach; Tyronn Lue, LA Clipper head coach. Those are some great minds right there. So they will get the best out of the team. They will do what they have to do. And yes, go USA. Go USA. Go USA. Now, with that, once again, this is Johnny Ray with Ray on Sports. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to, hit me up at rayonsports0905@gmail.com. That's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. Any sponsors that want to sponsor me, hit me up, rayonsports0905@gmail.com. I would love to sponsor your product and get on here and talk about your product, about how good your drink is, or how good your clothes are, or if you need service, call this company. Oh yeah, I would love to do that. So yeah, talk, come on, talk about me, talk about it, come get me. So with that being said, my other topic, and I think it's a topic that I keep banging in my head, keep thinking about. I talked about free agency on my last show, but we can talk a little bit more free agencies. What I want to talk about, though, what free agency is, not just free agency itself, but what pushes somebody to sign with another team. There are the ones that say, oh, I want to play for them because I want to get paid, or I want to play for them because it's a better chance for me to win the championship. There's only one trophy. And whoever you play for, I hope you got, enough in your tank to go through the season with that team to make it to the finals. I give every team a fighting chance. There's some teams that you don't give a fighting chance to, but I don't want to mention them teams right now. Detroit Pistons. Anyway, but because I know there's probably some Detroit fans listen to me going, hey, don't be bashing my team like that. But yeah, it's possible. You cannot make it. So with the NBA free agency, there's still some signings being made right now. There's a lot of guys who got signed, one guy that was like on the radar a little bit was Gary Trent Jr. He just signed with the Milwaukee Bucks. Patrick Beverley. Oh, this is a shock. Patrick Beverley, who was supposed to be that guy you hate to play against, but you love to have him on your team, is saying that he planned for Habot Tel Aviv in BC, Israeli Basketball Premier League. So I guess his season in the NBA, his thing in the NBA will be over. I guess because he's playing for them. Tell me, I don't know. But yeah, I just read that on the wire on ESPN.com. Also, free agent Seth Curry, who's Steph Curry's brother, signed a 1-year deal to return to the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, that's okay. Knicks signed free agent Cameron Payne to a 1-year deal for veteran minimum. Cameron Payne's been moved around. I remember him in Phoenix. And from Phoenix, he moved to Brooklyn. And in Brooklyn, I think, traded him to Milwaukee. And then he went to 76ers. So now he's just all over the place. He's trying to find his niche. So some players, you see them get moved a lot and you thinking they're not that good. It's not really that they're good. They're not that good. It's just they got to find the right system that works for them. And I think Cameron Payne's one of those players that if he gets in the right system, he'll be pretty good, and a lot of teams sign these 1-year deal veteran minimums because that's all they're taking a chance on your 1 year. 1 year is a year you got to prove who you are and how good you can be. So for Cameron Payne, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's trying to show what he got. And he signed with the Knicks, and the Knicks actually needs a guard like that. They need somebody to help out Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson needs some help bad. The Knicks did make some other moves and signed some other players. They signed OG and Anunoby back to re-upped him and signed him. I heard that Jalen Brunson took less money to try to win a championship, so that's what the Knicks were able to sign, more players for him, which I have no problem with. Jalen Brunson is thinking about the big picture. He he extended, yeah. So Jalen Brunson extended his deal. He agreed to a 4-year, $156 million. So instead of this year, extending it this year instead of next, it gives them the next flexibility to keep their current roster. Keep give them flexibility to sign more players, but also keep the current roster, which means they can sign everybody, and they don't have to worry about trying to lose people because they gotta because they paid Jalen so much. Jalen actually was being selfish not selfish, but unselfish by doing that because he saw the bigger picture. We was almost there. We just had needing a couple more pieces. And if I take less money, we could probably get those pieces and probably make a good run at it for the NBA championship, which is not bad. Golden State Warriors also said that, or their general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. says, we're going to make sure Steph Curry stays here for the rest of his career, which means they want him to retire as a Golden State Warrior. They didn't feel the same way about Clay, though, because Clay is not there anymore. Clay, I love you, bro, but I think the team looked at your injury and how you came back from the injury as you don't have it anymore. So they're not willing to shell out that kind of money for you. Does that say loyalty for the team? Yes. Does that say less loyalty for a player? Yes. Because you really didn't want him there, or did you want him there? Or you just he wanted more than you would. Okay, so maybe he wanted more than what they were asking. They weren't willing to give him, and they probably gave him an offer. Ever seen those movies or something like that where they say, "I'm gonna write a number on a piece of paper," and they slide it to you, and you say you write your number on it and you slide it back to him. I think that's what happened with Clay. He said, I'm gonna write the number down for you, and he slid it to Golden State. Golden State looked at it and said, "Nah, let me slide you another number," and they slid the number back, and Clay looked at it and said, "I feel insulted. You think I'm not worth more than that?" So he left. And they had talked to Dunleavy about Clay, and I guess he didn't really have too much to say about it. He just said it's a free agency market. Clay went where he needed to get. Where he wanted to go to get what he needed to get, and I have no problem with that. I have no problem at all with that. Get your money. If it's out there and somebody's willing to pay you for it, get it. Now, even with that being said, there were other teams that was courting Clay, and Clay decided not to go with them. The Lakers were courting him. He decided not to come. So it was between the Lakers and the Mavericks. They had the money to get him, and he decided to go to the Mavs and said his own words was, I felt like if I went to the Lakers, it would have been just like going to Golden State, another Golden State, which means to me, from that comment that he said, that means one of two things. That means that either he couldn't handle the spotlight anymore, or he didn't want to be in the spotlight anymore and just wanted to get paid. Because he never said anything about it, it's about winning. I just want to win another championship. He didn't say that. He said, I didn't want to go to LA because I didn't want to go to another Golden State. I want to go somewhere else. Now, he went to Dallas. Now everybody's saying, oh, Dallas is a favorite. They went to the finals. Dallas is a favorite. Yeah, they did. Because what my personal opinion on that is that Dallas took everybody by surprise. Nobody was expecting Dallas to do what they did. And it happens with a lot of teams. Denver did it. Denver's not back and didn't do back to back, and everybody had them picked. Oh, Denver's going back. Denver's going back. Denver's going back. They're gonna win again. They're gonna be back to back. And what happened? They got beat. Another team figured out how to play them, and they beat them. It's hard in any sport to win back to back because the first year you win, either you take everybody surprise or you blow everybody out. One of the two. In any sport, in baseball, basketball, football, whatever it is. That first year, you blow everybody out because you blow them out or you take them by surprise. That next year, they gear up for you. Like I said, Boston Celtics, perfect example. They came out. They were favorite because the whole regular season they were blowing people out, so people had them favorite to go to the finals. But they didn't have them winning because they said, "Well, if Denver's there, I don't think they're going to win." I heard that a lot, but they had the right chemistry, they had the right players, and they handled their business. And now they're NBA championships. You can never take that away from them. You can say whatever you want to say about them. You can never take away that championship from them. But some teams, and I've said this on the last podcast, that some teams have a mentality: championship or bust, or the best record we can get, and that we're good with that. There's 4 organizations in the NBA that I know of, in the National Basketball Association, that their mantra is championship or bust. I think it's 4 teams. 4, let me see. Yeah, maybe 3. Yeah, 3. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Boston Celtics, and the New York Knicks. Those 3 teams, every year, their fans are championship or bust because of where they play. They're called big market teams. LA is the big market. Boston, it may not say like it's the big market, but it's the aura of playing for the Celtics. It's the history of the Celtics. It's the storied franchise. Same with the Lakers, the storied franchise. The Knicks, a storied franchise. So those fans out there expect nothing less but a championship. And anything less than that, you're gonna hear it from them. I'm one of them. I'm a Laker fan. I do it all the time. When we win it, I'm good. When we lose it, I'm like, oh Lord. But every time we win a championship, I'm like, yeah. But then I think it's gotta last. How is it gonna last? If you don't have enough, you can keep the players for only so many years, and then they're gonna start dwindling off, and then you got to rebuild. Now, the better teams, they try their best to rebuild, but now with this new, I guess before that, the way free agency was working, people were building super teams, and so you couldn't compete with them. Because they got the players they needed, and nobody could compete with them because you had all stars. You had like at least 3 all stars per team. Golden State Warriors was one of them. They started off, they built their team from scratch. Steph Curry, they drafted Steph Curry, they drafted Clay, they drafted Draymond, all the other role players that was on that team, they drafted everybody. I think they traded from like maybe Andre Iguodala one year, and they won a championship. But they built a dynasty, and they had pieces that did it. Now Kevin Durant came in, and they won another championship with him. And when he came in, they was like, oh yeah, they're favorite to win. And they won. The thing about Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant said, yeah, I want to build myself. He got high on himself and said, I can build it myself. I can win by myself. I'm going to put my own team together and I can win. Kevin Durant has never made it back to the NBA Finals since. I don't think he made it to playoffs, but not to the conference finals or not to the NBA Finals since he left Golden State. And that also comes to my point of what a player, what's in a player's DNA. Are you a championship caliber player, or are you I just want to win kind of player? And for that mentality, which is called the Mamba mentality, that you can win at all costs, a lot of players do not have that Mamba mentality. That's something that's embedded in you. And you say, well, Johnny, what's the Mamba mentality? It's something that Kobe Bryant started, and he had the blueprint for it. Play hard every day. Don't take no days off. It's some more stuff to go to it, but the majority of it some of it was playing hard. There's other factors that go into it. Is like he had a quote that said, "Leave the game better than you found it," which means leave a mark. It means that when you were there and when you leave the game, people still reference you and says, "Oh, that's a this," and that's a Jordan thing, or that's a Kobe thing, that's a Larry Bird thing, that's a Magic thing, that's a Kareem thing. That's what he means by leave the game better than you found it. That people talk about you even after you're done, and they're always trying to rank you and say who's the best at this, who's the best. It's in any sport. I'm going towards basketball because I'm we're like in the basketball season, but same thing in football, any other sport. It's the mentality of the player. Now, a lot of players don't come to LA because they can't deal with it. LA is a hard place to play, just like Boston and New York are hard places to play because the fans expect so much from you. You come to LA, they expect championship. If the star player comes to LA, the first year LeBron got there, it was a championship. That's what they expected, a championship, and he delivered. Now they call it the bubble championship, which means they won it during COVID, but it's still considered a championship in the record books. There's no asterisk by it. There's nothing that says bubble championship. There's none of that. It just says NBA champion. I think it's 2021, 2022, COVID year. So for people to say, "Oh, that was just a bubble championship," that really don't count. It counts in the record books. It counts on that ring that's on their finger. It counts on that trophy that's in the Lakers practice facility with the other 16 trophies. It counts. So you can say what you want. It is what it is. It's considered a championship. And for me, when they say players don't want to come to LA, players don't want to go to Boston, players don't want to go to New York, it's not the players that they're playing with. It's the aura of those organizations that they don't think they can live up to the hype. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard had a chance to come to LA. They say they wanted to play in LA, but they went to the Clippers instead of the Lakers. What has the Clippers done? I got some Clipper fans out there. Come on, talk to me. What have the Clippers done? Nothing. They've made it to the second round of each, and every year it's always the same thing. The basketball analysts and sports casters and writers and podcasters and all that other stuff. The Windhursts, the Stephen A's of the world, the other basketball analysts of the world will say this their year. The Clippers have the team. They have the team to beat. They got Kawhi. As long as they got Kawhi and Paul, they can take them all the way to the championship. What happened? Didn't make it. Why didn't make it? Same reason I always didn't make it. Because that pressure to me, and I could be wrong. It's my personal opinion. It's my show. I can say what I want to say, but it's my personal opinion that you got to have that championship DNA embedded in you. If you don't have that championship DNA embedded in you, you can't win because you don't have the drive to win. You have the drive to play. I'm not saying you're not a great player, but sometimes you don't have the drive to win, or the lights are too bright for you. Now, speaking of the Clippers, what they got? Paul George just left. I just heard a rumor that Russell Westbrook's about to get traded. So you got James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. And I just told you about Kawhi winning the USA men's basketball. They just shut him down and sent him back because they said he's recovering from an injury. The Clippers organization is saying, well, the first report was that they cut him because the Clipper organization said he needs to rehab and he's not 100%. So USA Basketball said, yeah, we're going to cut him. And I think Grant Hill had made a statement and said, yeah, we talked to the Clipper organization. They said it would be best if he didn't play. So he took him off the team. A couple of days later, president of basketball operations for the Clippers, I think his name is Lawrence Frank, came out and said, I don't understand why they did that. I don't know why they kicked Kawhi off the team. He looked good to us when we saw him in practice. And now, I don't know what happened between the time we saw him and the next day, but all of a sudden they didn't want him on there. It doesn't make sense to me. Come on, dude. Really? Think about this for a minute. He's your star player. He's coming off an injury. If he plays in USA basketball, he might not be good for the season because Kawhi has a history of injuries. Where he's not even played a full season. So you're going to tell me I don't know why they kept him off the league? Yeah, you knew why. I don't think Kawhi's played a full season. Has he? Yeah, okay. So since he's been with the Clippers, no, he hasn't played a full season. He came to the Clippers in 2019-2020, 57 games. 2021 season, 52 games. 22-23 season, 52 games. Last season was his biggest one. He played 68 games. See? And the majority of those was because of, I think, injuries. A lot of it was injuries. Yeah, because he did. I mean, when Kawhi played, he plays. He can play. He was averaging 34 minutes a game. He was averaging almost 24 to 26 points a game. Yeah, he was doing pretty good. But those injuries caught up with him a lot. So they're saying that, we can't take a chance with him missing games. And it's not the first time he's done that. He's played for other teams where he's in his whole career, since he started in 2011, 2012, he hasn't played a full season. The most he's played, 72 games, he played with the Spurs in the 2015, 2016 season. He plays, oh, I'm sorry, 2016, 2017 season, he played 74 games. 74 games. Now, he did go to I think he won a championship with the Spurs, and then he went to the Raptors, won a championship with them playing 60 games. People, if you don't know, in the NBA season, there's 82 games. He played 60 of 82 games, but he won a championship. So that's what they're hanging their hats on. Hey, he won a championship with us. I don't know what he's going to do after that, but he won a championship with us. But that's what I'm saying. Players like that, franchises are very, very, very careful with those kind of players because they want them to play a full season. I don't know what their workout program is. I don't know what their regimen is. I don't know what kind of injuries they have that just keep lingering and keep getting hurt. Some players are injury prone. You know, every time you blow at them, they'll fall over and they got a Achilles or a knee or something. But also, with that being said, players today, I think I'm not gonna say they're not built like players back in '99 in the '80s and '90s, but there's more injuries out there. I want to say injuries. There's more things out there that keeps them from playing. There was a thing where they had like players taking rest. They would rest a game, like they wouldn't play a back-to-back game. And I think Kawhi did that last year and the year before, where they just sat him. Like they played a game, they played one game one night, and the next night they said, "Oh, he's not playing." And they did it for a lot of players. A lot of players sat out games. They weren't hurt; they just didn't play. Some of them were hurt, some of them wasn't hurt, and they just taking a break. And the new thing with the NBA is there's a lot of analytics. But that's not just with NBA. That's a lot of sports. I've noticed that. I've listened to a lot of things when they talk about different leagues and sports, like from football to baseball to basketball to hockey. There's more analytics with it now than it was before. So for a player to play a full season, they look at all the analytics. Like for a pitcher, a lot of pitchers don't pitch 9 innings anymore. They pitch 6.5 to 7. Even if they're a starter and they're a great pitcher, they have a pitch count, and it's for the longevity of the pitcher as well as the organization. So they'll have a pitch count of so many balls they throw, and then they'll pull them and says, okay, that's all. They're good. They're done because they don't want to wear them out. And that's just something I think probably with science and with medicine, trying to extend careers of players, because in every league there's something that they change, based on scientific facts and scientific reasoning why players can't play as long as they can. I know I'm like going somewhere else with this, but it's just it's a lot going on. But that's what I'm referring to is I started with Kawhi and not playing a full season, but what I'm going to, which I'm transitioning into, is why he didn't play. The analytics say that he's more likely, probably says he's more likely to get an injury or more likely not to recover fully from the injury he had if he played. And I'm sure the Clippers looked at that. I'm sure the organization looked at it and says, yeah, maybe we should pull him. Even though they want to publicly say that they said that, but they know they lost Paul George in free agency. So they're putting all their bags and they betting all their chips on Kawhi to bring him to the promised land. Is it going to happen? Don't know. Can't say it will. Can't say it won't. He might have a phenomenal year, and he might lead them to a championship. Big if. But they're not willing to take a chance with USA Basketball and leave them out there. So they decided to pull him. Now, you say, well, how come they didn't pull nobody else? How come no other players were playing? I mean, other players didn't get pulled like that. When you get selected for the USA Olympic team, I think you have the right to turn it down and say, nah, I'm good. But a lot of these players, either it's their first time playing or they played before and they know the regiment and they want to go out there and do it. I think for Kevin Durant, this is his second or third time playing. LeBron is his second or third time playing. So they know what the regimen is. They know what it takes, but they keep their body in shape and they know what the rigorous things of playing for NBA, USA Basketball. So they don't have no problem playing. LeBron's going his 15th season, I think, in the league. Oldest player in the league and still playing like he's 21. I don't know what LeBron's on, but whatever he got, man, LeBron, wherever you at, please tell me your secret. of how you stay in the shape that you stay in and stay playing at the highest level that you play at. Please, because some brothers out here that want to know how you do that, man. How do you play at that level? Are you a machine? Are you a Terminator? Are you a robot? What's going on? Talk to us, LeBron. LeBron, come on. Somebody who knows LeBron, have him hit me up. Let me know his secret. I really want to know because LeBron's about to hit that 40 mark. I believe 40, maybe 45 mark. But he's showing who he really is. And like I said, a lot of players that look at him and go, "How is he doing that?" They didn't think he was going to be doing that. They thought he was going to be out of it. He wasn't going to last long. He's 39 years old. He'll be 40 years old in December, playing at the level he's playing at. Now, see, that brings me to another subject. His son, Bronny James. People talk about Bronny James, which is unfair. The criticism he getting to me is unfair. You taking a kid and trying to compare him to his dad. He's not LeBron James. He's Bronny James. He is who he is. He's LeBron James Jr. I think it's his maybe that's his given name. But you cannot compare him to his dad and expect the same things from him. You cannot. He was, and I heard something today that said he was the 55th pick in the draft. So he wasn't a top 10 pick. So why do you treat him like he's a top 10 pick? Give the brother some time. Let him figure out who he is. I don't expect a lot from him. He plays for the Lakers. He got drafted by the Lakers. He played in the Summer League. But every game he plays in Summer League, there's somebody out there, well, he didn't do that. Look, he missed this shot. He did this. He's trying. Yes, he is, because you guys are putting that much pressure on him. And I know as media, because I'm a part of the media, yes, you put a lot of pressure on him. But I don't expect him to blow the doors off the first year in the league. I really don't. I give him maybe a couple of years, maybe after his dad retires and people that all that talk dies down, he might end up being a decent player. Is he going to be all-star? Don't know. Is he going to be a superstar? Don't know. Is he going to win multiple championships? Don't know. But give him a chance. Kid's 21. Kid just came off a cardiac arrest, and came back to play. He could have hung it up and said, "You know what? I'm good. I had a scare. I don't think I want to do this anymore." He could have said that, but he's out there to prove that he can play, that he belongs in the league. And it's a lot of people out there that just talk about him. Oh, well, he shouldn't be that. And I think there's now a clip out about Jaylen Brown saying something about him. The clip says they don't have any audio from the clip, but they're reading this clip saying Bronny's not a pro. Whether he said it or not here to argue that point, but that's gonna be the thing. Everything Bronny does, there's going to be somebody talking something about him, saying something about him, saying what he can do and what he can't do. But my advice to all of you guys who say that, give the brother a chance. He is not his dad. He has the IQ of his dad. I guarantee you that, because I'm sure when he grew up, if that wasn't the case, I don't think he would have picked basketball as a sport. He would have said, "Nah, Dad, you got that. I'm gonna be a engineer. I'm gonna be a businessman. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that." But he chose to play. So give him a chance to play. Stop comparing him. And people can say, "Well, we're not comparing him to LeBron. We're not comparing him." Yes, you are. Every time, because if you wasn't comparing him, you wouldn't say something every time you play the game. Oh, well, look, he looks this. Oh, he's not good. Oh, he doesn't belong in the NBA. How do you know that? How do you know that? He takes, he is trying his best to do what he can in the NBA. He was like I said, he was a 55th pick in the NBA draft. So over time, let's just look at the 55th picks in the NBA draft, and see what and let's think about it. What are they doing right now? Well, let's see. I don't know. In the NBA, Isaiah Wong, yeah, he was 55th pick. Yeah, a lot of these guys I never heard of. I was trying to give Ronnie some credit and saying some of these guys are okay, but there's a lot of guys. There's 12 names on here. I don't even know. There's some more on here too. A lot of them look like they're not even in the league no more. Okay, so There's any Patty Mills, 55th pick in the draft. There's a name that's familiar. He was 55th pick. He went to the Portland. He drafted by the Trailblazers, ended up going to the San Antonio Spurs, and he made a name for himself. He did pretty good. He's still playing, and he was a 55th pick. Louis Scola, I don't know if you remember that name. 2002, was picked by the Spurs, 55th pick. He's doing pretty good. Well, he did pretty good. He played for the Spurs and he played for the Rockets, I believe. With that being said, that's all the time we have for Ray on Sports. I'm your host, Johnny Ray. Glad you came in and take this ride with me. I hope you check out the podcast. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel. And like I said, once again, if you want to comment or give me a quiet comment, go to rayonsports at Gmail. It's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. Leave me a comment. Leave me a message. Let me know you want to be on the show. Let me know you want to talk about something. And I'll be more than happy to bring you in. Like I said, once again, this is Johnny for Ray on Sports. Thank you for taking this ride with me. Take care and God bless.